Hey, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Joshua Planning and Zoning Commission to order, located at Joshua City Hall, 101 South Main Street, Joshua, Texas. And we do have a quorum. We'll move on to agenda item B, which is our citizens forum. The Planning and Zoning Commission invites citizens to speak on any topic, however, unless the item is specifically noted on this agenda, the Planning and Zoning Commission is required under the Texas Communities Act limited response to responding with a statement of specific factual information, reciting the city's existing policy, or directing the person making the inquiry to visit with city staff about the issue. No commission deliberation permitted. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak. Is anybody here or anything outside of agenda item D? That would like to speak tonight? Otherwise, I'll ask you to wait until we get the agenda item D. Okay. We'll move on to our agenda item C, which is to discuss, consider, and take action on approval of meeting minutes from October 4th, 2020. Everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes? I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approve.
Second. I have a motion from Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Torres. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, moving on to agenda item D, conduct a public hearing on a request to rezone 144.24 acre of land known as tract 9 and 10 in the George Casey survey, abstract number 173, County of Johnston, Texas, located on the east side of County Road 1023, to change from agricultural district to the R1L single family residential large lot district to allow for the construction of a residential subdivision. We have staff present.
Sir, if you would say the time so for the minutes, time we begin.
Sorry, it's 6:32, and we have a presentation from staff.
Okay. The vacant property has never been platted, and the property is currently zoned as the agricultural district. The proposed development of this property is to allow for the property to be subdivided for the construction of a residential subdivision containing a minimum of 1 acre size lots and follow all of the R1L district regulations. This development will be required to submit engineered construction plans and will also be required to preliminary plat and final plat. The city has agreed that these matters may be part of the construction and platting review process. The proposed request complies with the future land use plan.
And we have an owner's presentation.
I'm Sam Knights, work with T-Gon Perkins Engineering in Fort Worth, 5237 North Riverside Drive, 76137. We are presenting this property as the standard R1L zoning, which is complies with the future land use plan. So, asking for any variances or changes or plan development items with that, straight on. So I'm here to answer any questions at this point.
Anybody have any questions?
Just to verify that, so it's straight, the only thing before us today is strictly just a zoning request by the landowner.
Correct.
Correct. Are there more than one landowner, or the same landowner, both properties?
Correct.
Sir? Now we'll go through those that would like to discuss that are in favor of the proposed subdivision. I have one that I'm aware of, Linda Smith.
It's just in the packet.
Yes, this was just filed. That's in the packet. It was filed with their office prior to the meeting, so they may or may not be here.
It's not here.
You should have just the sheets outside the packet. You should have any written sheets for today. Those are the only ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the ones you passed.
Correct. They should have filled out a speaker's form. You should have one, the one I just gave you.
These are the only ones I need to read. Okay, so we'll have, sorry, I'm new. New in this capacity. So I'll ask Glenn Westfall. Okay. To tell us,
Please come up to the
come
podium.
up whether you're in favor or against.
Give us your name and address.
How many houses do y'all have going in here?
Sir, if you would please state your name and address.
Glen Westfall, 5612 County Road 1023.
Thank you.
At this point, there's no houses going in there. This is strictly a request for zoning by the landowner. So there's unknown at this point. At this point in the process, the landowner has requested that their area be zoned to large R1L lots. So at that point, it'll go to planning and zoning will go at that point, whether this becomes a plan development, the city council has to be active. There's a lot more process down the road where a lot of your grievances will be addressed as whether or not moves forward. Right now, strictly, all we're talking today is a request for zoning. At this point.
And how many acres is this?
144.
And if they get the request for the R1 and they're allowed to put subdivisions in, right?
Yeah.
R1L,
R1L, so they,
1 acre.
1 acre lots on this one, and then you've got infrastructure as well that they would have to install as well.
Right.
So we don't have
State
ideas
there,
now.
big flood zone in there.
Yeah, all of that would be correct, would have to be addressed.
According to your map, Jerry, it's 97 houses, is that right?
I don't know. I haven't done
Has it been
that.
approved?
No.
Have they shown you plans or documentation?
At this point, it's strictly a request for zoning. That's all we're
We're
allowed.
here to fight about not getting rezoned.
That's all it is. Is you got a landowner that's asked for it to be rezoned.
That's
So
this guy.
he represents, he represents the land. Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to your point, your grievance absolutely would be addressed once they come back to the planning, zoning, and council section with either a plan development or whatever they're gonna do. They have to come back and say, okay, here's a little bit more detail, here's our floodplain mitigation. I mean, all of that has to be addressed.
When would that meeting be after this?
Couple months, I would assume.
Yeah,
So I hope all
Depending on
this
the
shit-
developer.
It just depends on. To be truthful, yes,
Okay.
because right now, all we can address right now is the zoning aspect.
Right.
Don't worry. you can
That's
take that.
better now.
Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, next we have Kathleen Richardson. Okay, Todd Sternfeld.
Todd Sternfeld, 1000 County Road 904, Joshua, Texas, 76058. It's my understanding that present zoning does allow for rezoning of this R1L.
Correct. From agriculture to whatever the landowner requests.
Does the city have any R5L?
No.
Would that be something that the
What would a 5 represent?
5 acre?
Okay, that's where anything beyond the R1L, R1L, in fact, I think 1.75 of an acre for us, I think. It's 1 acre for us. Anything beyond 1 acre would still be 1L. So it could be 5 acre lots, could be 10 acre lots, could be 28, doesn't matter. It's still considered R1L because it's residential with a minimum size
Of
of
1
1
acre.
acre.
large lot.
But there's nothing in there that would allow for another type of.
Beyond that, we go to agriculture,
Agriculture.
unless it goes commercial or some of those other types of zones.
I've never received the notice about tonight's meeting, and I want to thank one of my neighbors, Arnold Griffin, for making me aware of it, just so that I can be involved in the loop of this process. Like you mentioned, it's
Sure.
going to be a process, no
Absolutely.
question about it. And I guess we probably, like the other gentleman indicated, need to maybe address some of these other issues as we move forward, but I'd
I
like
can
to see.
support to be engaged now.
Yeah, I would. Sure. My property and Miss Martin and Mr. Griffin over here tonight, Mr. Westfall, I know that our property's back up to this existing property. I purchased, the property at 1,000 County Road 904 in 2015. And it was, to say a mess is being nice. And I've really worked hard to try and beautify it and take care of it and bring it back to something that the city can be proud of, that I can be proud of, that my neighbors can be proud of. And I think any other type of development that goes around our properties, that we would like to make sure that we're involved in the process and that we can work with the engineering firm and the owners and the city to come up with something that everyone feels good about and maintains the quality of life that we have out here, Josh.
Well, I can tell you, T. Nolan Perkins has done a tremendous amount of work over the last 20 years for the city. And they're not hard on this case. This is the developers of Howard County. and
Sure.
stuff. So that's a pretty well-respected company that you can reach out to anytime with that. Keep your ear to the, to the ground.
Yeah, well, that's great, and look forward to going through the process and having something that's successful for the community.
Thank you.
Shirley Winter, please.
Warner.
Warner, sorry.
I'm totally against that being changed to residential, because it butts right up to my side door. So I would rather it stay as is, as long as possible. Because they look back to the mill and they want to change it. That's all I'd say at the moment without getting.
Is your name and address?
It's Shirley Warner, 5028 Wagon Wheel Road at the dead end.
Thank you.
Jenny Martin.
Chandra Martin, 828 County Road 904, Joshua, Texas, 76058. That is directly next door to Mr. Todd. For him to say that he's trying to make it beautiful, we call that above and beyond that. And I can say above and beyond that. Joshua would be really proud. I think that I too, I'm not against building, but my biggest thing is I have cattle, I have horses. I'm a professional trainer and breeder of 20 million starting shepherds. And so my biggest concern is going to be the perimeter, because all I have is a barbed wire fence that separates their property from mine. So therefore, I would definitely going to be adamant about a proper fence structure, not wood fence. You will get a very good idea if you visit Mr. Todd's place on the fence structure he has in place. It's impeccable. And I think that it would really bless all of us, that I'm fine with 1 acre plus, wonderful. But to protect us with what we're doing, which is still raising cattle, horses, teaching people to show their dogs, teaching children. We put on dog shows at our place. We just don't want a lot of outside interference or their loose animals, et cetera, et cetera. And we went through y'all annexing us into city limits and our property taxes going bonkers. And I'm fine with that, but I would hope that y'all would consider, our right to privacy
And that's, I think you're spot on in regards to seeing how, visualizing how this process goes. So what you talk about the fencing, stuff like that, is exactly what the next couple stages comes out to be. Where you're able to tell them, and the boards and the councils all have to respond and let them know they will approve with this type of deal. That's the type of stuff that we have to have feedback on as they develop this, because it's not developed yet, it's just, it's a concept right now. You know, with some specifics.
And I know that property well, and once they start clearing it in construction, I'm gonna have to kill a lot of snakes. And there's gonna be a lot, and I know, I can't call animal control every 20 minutes when there's a coyote on my foot. I can either let him meet Jesus, or I can let the Pyrenees out with him, show him how to meet Jesus. I mean, it's a slippery slope as a landowner, being now annexed in the city limits, and what you can and what you cannot do. So there's gonna be a lot of snakes, rats, you name it, all that stuff. I just wanna work side by side with them on it, just getting done and justified. Thank you for your time.
Lori Corinne?
Go 9.
Go 9. Thank you.
Lori Co. 5029 Wagon Wheel Road, live across the street from Shirley. My whole side property butts up against this property. And I am, I'm against the rezoning, I guess, because I don't want the taxes to raise, I don't want flooding to get worse, and I don't want the traffic down my street. In a nutshell.
Thank you.
I'll get to the rest later.
Yeah. Arnold Griffin.
Arnold Griffin, 5614 County Road 1023. I'm against. The reason I'm against, didn't y'all road down those roads? Our city can't maintain the roads we have now. We got to drive in many people in. We just bought $900 tire for the lost car Friday. Okay, road before, y'all can't maintain. You don't have the fire system you used to have. We've got 3 paid guys, 10 volunteers left. One fire chief's ran off. Joshua's not ready for this subdivision at all, let alone removing all these trees. I want a 10-foot concrete wall. This goes through, and I'll fight it tooth and nail. I'm been in Joshua for 30 years, long time. I've seen it grow. I wasn't for it. I understand it's what it is today, but I'm completely against it. We'll bring all one thing.
All the stupid cards I have.
Can I come back up again?
Yes, you may, sir. You come on back up.
All right. When you were speaking, you said you're the owner, right?
I'm just the engineer. I represent the owner.
Who is the owner of the property?
Gosh, you're gonna make me say his name.
Burkett. So you haven't purchased the property?
No.
Okay. And y'all were talking about 1 acre tracts, correct?
Minimum.
And you hadn't thought about 5?
For the price for the property that we're looking at, it would probably be close to.
Is the real reason that it's 1 because that's the minimum for a septic on a house? And if they had city sewer and water there, then you would ask for 60 by 120. And get you 600 lots in there?
No.
Wrong.
No, that product, in my opinion, doesn't fit well on that property. I think having 60-foot lots would be silly, especially
There'd
since.
be 600 houses in there, fit 97,
I
do real good.
probably, yeah, we probably could do 400. You could probably get 400 in there.
Is that the reason that you're going for 1 acre? Just because you have to have septic?
No, in theory, you could go half acre with
You pay $100 variance per house, down into the state. That's good. And Mr. Griffin made a good point about the roads. Indian Hill Road, there's 24 houses on that road. That road's terrible, shit. There's 23 houses on County Road 1023, that road's terrible, shit. There's 30 houses on Eddy Street, which is 909, and a trailer park, 30 houses, that road is shit. You can't maintain it, you haven't maintained it over 25 years. What makes me think that you can take care of these roads with another 300 cars out there?
Well, sir, like we were saying earlier, a lot of that stuff, this is just the beginning of a very long process.
And the fire department, that's a good
Roads,
point.
fire
too.
department, all those things will be assessed later on in the process.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd like to go ahead and answer a couple of questions there in regards to the fire department. So everybody understands, let's go with ESD. Now, we understand that online, we have our fire department, correct, but it's managed and governed by ESD. The ESD, the county ESD that we all pay ESD tax to, is the one that has to ensure that our fire department provides the services they provide. We go above and beyond here in the city because we do commit bigger, we're not obliged to. And such, so we'll make sure that we understand the ESD is a major player of the support. In regards to the roads, this area was annexed how long ago? Y'all remember?
Maybe 2005, I believe, it was
Okay.
2006.
So not a lot of growth in such there, but with growth comes some tax relief. It's hard to believe, right? Because the more houses are out there, the lower we can bring. I think the city council this year brought down their tax rate substantially to kind of help offset. So the more that we can do with the more housetops that are out there, we can keep, as a council, we can keep the pressure on the council, keep lowering that threshold where we don't see any growth. The growth is just natural due to more rooftops. And that's kind of where that comes in. Beginning with the, keep in mind, I hope every one of you stay engaged throughout the process to help the developer get to the development that you guys want to see. If that's the way the council and everybody decides to go and stuff. So that's what I.
I have a question for you, Jerry.
Well, we've already gone through that. Unfortunately, we'll talk afterwards, all you like that. No problem, I'll help you.
Anything to answer? Or level?
Just real quick, as far as roadways go specifically, 'cause I know that was a concern. The city does have very strict criteria on developers and what they have to do for adjacent roadways, especially if they're on master thoroughfare plan. We've been working with the city and those expectations to.
Inside your bid.
No, surrounding. So whatever
In and
is
out.
fronting, in and out, yeah, so whatever's fronting our property, we have to accommodate. It's something that we're fooling around with. As we get to the story flat, you guys can come back and do something. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Personal sale.
He didn't bring any cards.
I do have cards if you would like a card.
And I have 4. And 6:53 will be closing the public hearing section of this. The next item is to discuss, consider, and possible action on approval to rezone 144.24 acre of land on tract 9 and 10 from George Casement Survey, abstract number 173, County of Johnson, Texas, located on the east side of Pine Grove, South 23, to change from agricultural district to R1, called single family residential construction district, to allow for the construction of a residential subdivision. Discussion here, gentlemen.
I hear their concerns, as I too, anybody driven down North Main lately? I'm right there by Waldville. So I do understand your concerns, because we had to pass a bond for some repair on that street. Do you know when that's gonna start? The North Main Street repair?
I do not.
That was passed a couple years
I
ago.
do not.
Couple of years.
It wasn't a couple years, the one just passed last year, right?
December 2019.
Yeah, 2
And
years
then we
ago.
had COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
New contract.
Yeah, so I do really understand, but I mean, using this little phrase, but at the end of the day, it's Mr. Burkett that's requesting the sign. And it's his property. he should have a right to do with what he wants to. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, I'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve the zoning request as requested for the 144.24 acres of land known as Great Pine 10 George Castle.
We have a motion from Commissioner Moore to approve. Second from Commissioner Connell. All those in favor? Any against? What y'all approve?
We're approving motion.
It's just a result.
This is the zoning request, not the plan, not the.
So moved.
Mr. Traylor, you got anything to say?
I waste my time.
Right, on 6 people. That's 5 to 1.
At this point, adjourn the planning and zoning commission.
Thank you.